everybody, my name is Alexander Hammond. I recently just graduated from Harvard.
And my name's Jack Anderson, and I also recently graduated from Harvard.
Today we're going to tell you how exactly we got into Harvard, what our stats were, the exact activities we did to get into Harvard, and what is one piece of advice that would make the biggest difference in your application. So I did go to one of the most competitive high schools in my state, and academically had a GPA of a 4.0. I was ranked at the top of my class and took some of the most challenging courses that my high school offered. So these were courses like organic chemistry, AP physics, multivariable calculus, and really these were probably the most challenging courses that my high school offered. I also did take the SAT a total of 3 times. I don't remember my exact score, but I know I had above 1500, and then took over 10 AP courses throughout my time in high school. So these are courses like AP Physics, AP World History, AP Lit, AP Bio, AP Chemistry, AP Psychology, AP Computer Science, and then several others that I also had taken there as well. I try to make sure that I would take as many possible AP courses as possible to ensure that I was at the top of my class. I think one strategy that students can really use is trying to max out in AP courses. Because remember, AP courses are ranked a lot heavier on your GPA, and a lot of the valedictorians that you'll typically see are maxed out in taking AP courses from as early as 9th or even 8th grade.
So my path was a little bit different. I actually ended up doing my master's at Harvard, but during high school I studied in Australia and I ranked in the top 1% of my state. I would believe it was in the top 0.7% in the end. So basically, I got the highest grades possible that you could going through high school, and then I studied mechanical engineering and law at the University of Western Australia. I had a 4.0 GPA, and I was making sure to always academically push myself, like overloading many semesters. I did my thesis in engineering and again got one of the highest marks. So academics were super important. And also guys, if you want to, we run a company together called Ivy League Consults, and we're running a great deal at the moment where if you book a one-on-one discovery call with either of us, we're going to give you a free 39-page ebook just for attending the call. So make sure you book a call using the link at the top of the description, and we're going to be super excited to see you there. But I'm keen to hear more about your extracurriculars and research.
So during high school, I was super well involved in research. I remember during my time in high school, I worked on a lot of developmental biology. So I specifically worked with zebrafish models. So zebrafish are extremely close genetically to humans, and what we tried to do was look at their developmental genes called Hox genes. So Hox genes are really early genes in embryonic development. Something goes wrong, you'll have anything from a limb morphogenesis to something like a tumor that is growing inside the animal model. And so we did 2 things. The first thing we did is we tried to localize the location of the prostate of zebrafish. The second thing we also did is we tried to manipulate their developmental genes and find out how something in the zebrafish could turn into some sort of genetic missense or nonsense mutation that could eventually turn into a stop codon that would completely stop the development of the zebrafish. But during high school, I was always in the lab. So I remember I would start off in the morning and I would have my classes, and then I would directly go to lab. I mean, I was in lab roughly between 3 to 4 hours every single day. I remember by the time that I finally finished my senior year, we had finally been at a point where we could submit the project for presentation and eventually publication shortly after that. And that is the number one piece of advice that I'll tell you guys, is that research is so important in high school. All of these universities are all research institutions, and so they care very deeply about something called an H-index, which measures the number of times a paper gets cited. And so these top universities, Harvard, Yale, Oxford, they all will look at how much research output they have, and that helps factor into the number of citations that a papers are getting. And this is a really good way for universities to actually accelerate themselves in the ranking. And this is why they care so much about admitting students that are already very polished in their research, because they, care a lot about, the amount of novel therapies and novel solutions that they're putting out into society, and research is the best way to do that.
Yeah, I completely agree that the idea of research is absolutely critical. For myself, I'm in the field of education, so I did multiple research placements at various research centers in Australia. But on top of that, having passion projects is also super important. So for me, I built an education non-for-profit over the course of 5 years. I also published 7 books. So I guess similar to research publications, one of the standout parts of my application was that I published 7 high school textbooks and 1 non-fiction book, which was huge for my application. I did a bunch of teaching assistantships, and any kind of research or academic heavy opportunities I could get my hands on, I was always taking throughout my undergrad. So research, guys, is one of the best things you can do.
But actually, how do you get involved in research? I mean, how did I get involved at that stage? So there's 2 real things, right? Number 1 is you can find a professor that will mentor you through a project and guide you, but that's pretty hard, especially if you're in high school. Or you can work directly with us at Ivy League Consults, and we'll be the professors, we'll connect you to the professors, and we'll guide you through a research project. Let's fast forward to after you found a research mentor. really the way you go about doing a research project is you, first of all, spend a lot of time reading about the field, right? You want to make sure that you really understand your project. Then you'll work very closely with your professor, you'll plan out a project, and then you'll have to do usually a fair bit of experiments that actually will even validate the work that you're doing. And then if the results are good, you can move forward to actually writing some sort of paper for this. And this is really what universities care about. I mean, even if you don't publish a paper, but at least, trying and spending some time in research to try and understand the field is something that they truly value a lot as well.
Beyond research, one of the really great extracurriculars you can do to just kind of round out your profile is have an athletic or an artsy passion. So for myself, I did Ninja Warrior back in Australia. I competed at the highest level, went to the World Championships, among a ton of other things. And I know that you played piano.
That's right, yeah. So I also made sure that I was pursuing my own passions creatively. I really loved to play piano and play a lot of other instruments. And so I remember also during research and classes, I was also doing piano rehearsals and spending several hours practicing new pieces as well. So that was another thing that I was really interested in. I also did play soccer. I was on the junior varsity team for my high school soccer team. And so, I think universities do care that you're doing something outside of the academic space, whether it's, through starting some sort of nonprofit, playing a musical instrument, playing some sort of sport. This is all an important thing. Because remember, they want you to get to the school and actually contribute and engage with the student life. And sports, music, social impact ventures, these are all ways that you can actually meet other students, engage with the faculty, with the students, and hopefully make some friends as well.
Yeah, no, that's all great advice. And guys, that's kind of like, in essence, our stats. So in summary, really think heavy about research. These are academic institutions at the end of the day, so you want to be impressing them through research. Then on top of that, see if you can found a non-profit or find a passion project, and then round it out maybe with some sports, the creative arts. But above all else, stay on top of your grades, guys. Great SAT scores, great ACTs, great GPA, you need it all.
Absolutely. Remember, grades are how you get your foot in the door, but they're not what's going to open it fully. The research, the extracurriculars are what's going to get that door fully open and hopefully earn your seat at one of these top schools. Thanks so much for watching my video. Remember, subscribe and check the link in the description for more information about how we can help you. Thank you guys so much. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.